Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to the Friday edition of Tyngsborough TV Live. It's the Friday wrap-up. It's finally Friday, thank goodness. This week has been very long. Actually, the last couple of weeks have been very long. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. I am Town Media Director Steve Brogan, as you probably know already, and we're going to talk about a bunch of interesting things today. So lots happened in town in the last couple of weeks, namely this past Tuesday, had the big town meeting vote, the town meeting for what was going to happen with the country club, and if you don't know already, that was defeated. Depending on which side you were on, that was a positive or a negative. Not really, all depended on where you stood on that whole issue, but pretty interesting to say the least. Mm-hmm. Who knows what'll happen now? I tried to get some of the selectmen to come and sort of just discuss the kind of the future moving of it, but at this point, nobody really wanted to talk about it. I think it's just a little bit too sensitive at this point to want to get into the details of it, but that's fine. I kind of figured that much.
We can give it some time.
Yeah, we'll give it some time, and at some point, maybe some people will want to talk about it, discuss it, and see what happened, and what happens next, because there's still a lot of question as to, what can happen with the property and so on and so forth. But we won't get into a tremendous detail about it. If you guys want to join in and ask questions about it, feel free to. Also on that note, don't forget you can watch this broadcast multiple different ways. So Facebook on the pages we share it on, YouTube or tyngsboroughma.gov on our live video on demand and streaming, and also at Comcast 8 and Verizon Channel 29. And if you want to join in on the conversation, feel free to chime in on Facebook or YouTube, and you can ask questions or just say your piece or whatever the case may be. We've got a bunch of interesting things we're going to talk about. Some kind of fun stuff. There's a bunch of stuff going on coming up just here in town. We'll keep it on a local basis for the moment as to what's coming up. So Monday is the Memorial Day Parade, which we have every year. It's an awesome day. If you have a chance to come out and stand on the parade route and just kind of give a salute or say hi or wave or whatever, you can also join in the parade through the bike and wagon decorating contest if you want to do that. But it's going to be a good day. The weather's supposed to be nice as of this point. Can you pull the weather up real quick, Rayson? Let's check that out real fast. It's supposed to be nice out. What's that say now on Monday, actually? Yeah, it does say nice. Good. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna highlight that. So I have this new handy dandy tool. 78 and sunny, or 76 and sunny. So 6, yeah. So it's supposed to be wicked nice. So regardless of the weather, come out, check out the Memorial Day Parade. There's a lot of cool people who march in the parade. They bring out the police and the fire, and the National Guard comes out. The Minutemen come out and do their fire off their muskets. There's a bunch of kids and school kids. The school band is usually marching the parade. There's lots of really awesome stuff to see. It's a really short-ish route too, so not a lot of you don't have to walk a long way or anything like that. We start over at Old Town Hall as usual, and then go down the Middlesex Road to the First Monument on the right there, in the Old Town Common next to the First Parish Church, and then come back up, go across the bridge, and down over to the American Legion where it ends there. But it's a nice little route. It's a nice short parade, so it's a nice easy one. You don't have to spend a lot of time. It won't take a lot of your day. You can just come out, give a wave, and watch the thing, and then go home and enjoy your Memorial Day cookouts. But it's fun, and it's a great way to show your appreciation for what Memorial Day truly is for. It's for thanking our veterans for their service, and for the ones who we have lost in service to our country, protecting the red, white, and blue. So that's why we want to come out and support that. But very cool. So that's Monday. That starts at 11 o'clock. So come out and do that. Check that out. And also, if you're a resident, I hope you are, also don't forget that trash pickup is moved because of the Memorial Day holiday. So your trash pickup will be on Tuesday if you're a Monday pickup. And don't forget also that you've probably seen them already come through your neighborhood, but the yard waste pickup is today too. So if you haven't seen them yet, they're on their way. If you have seen them, you probably got rid of your stuff and you're happy now. So don't forget to, if you have if they miss you for some strange reason or another, call the Board of Health, extension 118 here at Town Hall, and they will fix what happened, or at least get it corrected. So they'll do their best. So those things are happening. What else is going on? There's a golf tournament. We'll talk more about that in the future, but so you have to register by July 12th. It's for the Tyngsborough Firefighters Association. It's the 2019 Donald Singleton Memorial Golf Tournament. They use the money towards scholarships, and they give the rest of it to the department to help buy equipment and stuff. So that's coming up, but we'll talk more about that in the future. With Memorial Day, with the actual date of the Memorial Day, the town beach opens up. So if you don't have one of these guys here, this is the my fingers covering the beach, not the each parking pass, the beach parking pass, where you can go and park at the town beach. These are free. You don't have to pay for them. Just go to Town Hall. go to the town administrator's office and you can get your parking pass. If you don't have one of these and you're in that parking lot, there's a chance that you could get towed. It's not a guarantee, but there's a chance. So get your free pass and you can eliminate the chances of that happening. That's always a good thing. You don't want to get towed. That's a bad day. I've had that happen. It's no fun.
You've gotten your car towed?
Not at the beach, but like just in the past, I've had my car towed. It's just a bad day. Costs a lot of money, and it stinks. A bunch of stuff happened this past weekend besides town meeting. Things over at Tyngsborough High School, we assisted in getting some of this stuff covered, so we helped them set up equipment and get some stuff there and got it up on the air. But there's the Tyngsborough's Got Talent is up on VOD. There's the annual musical review is also up on VOD. We recorded both nights of the Knowledge Bowl. Not we, but the school recorded both nights of the Knowledge Bowl. So those will be coming up soon. They're working on getting those cut together and edited down for time, but those will be up available very soon as well, hopefully next week sometime. There is, let's see, we'll skip over that one for now. That's actually, no, I can go with that one. There's soccer that's going to be coming tonight. I think I mentioned this already, but the Great Old Rough Diamonds, one of the Tyngsborough residents actually owns the team, and they're going to be playing in Tyngsborough for a couple of dates. You can get information from them if you Google Great Old Rough Diamonds, but they're going to be playing on the 21st and 30th, of June at Tyngsborough High School. So if you like soccer, if you're a soccer fan, I'm not really so much, but there's a lot of people that are. I'm not really much of a soccer fan, but anyways, if you're a soccer fan, go check them out. Be some good games, definitely some fun, something fun to watch. And also we did a video just the other day with Judy McCullough and Brian Day-Lewis about the 2019 Taste of the Towns that's happening on June 3rd over at the Tyngsborough Sportsman's Club at 90 Westford Road. And it's a bunch of restaurants who bring food, and you can, I think it's $25 for the ticket. Yeah, $25 a ticket. If you want more info, you can go to tdrotary.org. But there's a bunch of restaurants that are going there, a bunch of local restaurants. Actually, the list she had was all the local Tyngsborough restaurants, all the places you'd know all these names. And then, like I say, $25 for the ticket. The money goes towards their scholarship program as well as some of the other activities that they do throughout the year. So very cool stuff there. So now let's talk about something else. We've talked about all the things going on here in town. There's, the usual stuff. Like I said, the Memorial Day Parade, that's an awesome one. That'll be a lot of fun. What do we want to hit first? Because there's a whole bunch of interesting stories that we had that we wanted to talk about. Let's do the we got the parade, yeah. Let's do the maid service one here.
This is the funniest
thing
ever.
This is hilarious. I don't know if you guys caught this. And Dave Leo, yes, you're very dedicated sitting there watching the watching the show from Aruba. I hate you, Dave.
That's
Maybe
awesome.
Bring some of that. No, it's good job, Dave. I'm glad you're watching the show.
See, if someone ever broke into my house and just clean it, I would still be wicked freaked out.
So this is weird. I don't know if you guys see this home because I would have freaked out if it was me personally. So what happened exactly, Ray? Somebody who knows the story, can you guys read this off? Tell me what exactly happened.
Yes, it says that this happened in Marlborough,
Massachusetts?
Yes.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
this
it was
is
Mass.
wicked. Yeah, this is
local.
local.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I
he
would've freaked
said
out.
that a homeowner came into his house last week and found out that someone broke into his residence. But after a quick search of the home, he realized nothing was missing. In fact, it was perfectly made up, more than perfect in how the family left it when they went out.
He said that he's never seen his son's room so clean.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. But who did it, though? Did they catch the person?
No.
No.
So it was just like Johnny Do-Gooder? I'm going to go clean this guy's house? And
If I had to guess, I think maybe a maid went into the wrong house or something. But how did they get in? I don't know.
But even then, though, it's just like how much do you really need to do your job? To break into somebody's house?
They made a little origami rose out of the toilet paper.
So here's my question, right? So were the doors locked for one, right?
Probably not.
Okay. I mean, we say that, but maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe they were. So if they were locked, either way, it's breaking and entering, right?
It is, yeah.
Dave, can you chime in on this real quick? He's watching in Aruba right now. Can you just let me know if the doors are unlocked and somebody goes into your house that isn't supposed to be there? Is that still considered breaking and entering, even though the door was unlocked? Trespassing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at the very least, trespassing.
Right.
Yeah.
So
some more details here. It says that the intruder made up all the beds, stacked the son's stuffed animals, and left the origami rose, as you mentioned, Kaylee.
Okay.
They also scrubbed everything down. They did the showers and the toilets. So that is like deep cleaning.
legitimately deep clean. And nothing was stolen.
Nothing.
Not a thing. What in the heck? All right, so I'm going to give you my address right now. No, I'm just
if you want to clean the whole house.
I got a house you can come clean. I got 2 kids that make a heck of a lot of mess.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no,
but still creepy, though.
Yeah, it says like the police department in Marlborough is still taking the case very seriously, as weird as it is. However, they don't have any leads or suspects.
So Dave is it's still a B&E, right? Thank you, Dave. Even if the door is unlocked, it's still a B&E.
It's just like a quirky story.
It's
like
just
it's just
weird.
bizarre.
But I mean, it's Massachusetts, so there's less gun owners. But like, he's lucky he didn't get like shot or something. Or she. I mean, I say he, but we don't know what if it was a man or a woman. It could have been Molly Maid.
It could have been a bunch of people. It could have been an inside job.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's just funny, like hearing the guy talk. He was like, "I've never seen the house so
You know
clean.
what?
He did a great job on the bathrooms." Like,
You know what though? Just knowing that somebody went through your house,
yeah,
like, and you don't know to what level they went through. Like, did they open up all the drawers? Were they looking in and around things?
Right.
And
it's definitely wicked creepy. I'd still be wicked freaked out.
did they take a tip
Yeah.
from like your, you know what I mean, like your jar of coins that you throw and you
Ooh,
change in all the
yeah.
time, or your kid's piggy bank, or like,
Or maybe they stole some family heirlooms, or maybe
Or
a
that
picture
too, right?
of a grandmother or so, because it's the one thing you can't replace.
right? True. Yeah. They took grandma.
They took grandma.
Yeah. Good old John Mulaney joke.
And you know what
Awesome.
they're gonna call up in a month and have them held hostage.
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna do. Be like, you want your Grammy's photos back?
Yeah.
$10 million.
But say if they didn't do any of that stuff though. If that actually happened, if you actually found the company or like whoever did that, what would you rate them on Yelp?
That's a good question.
What would you rate them?
What would you guys rate them at home? What would you rate this company if it was a legitimate company?
I'm hoping that
would
it's
you
like
rate
one
them?
of those things where like they actually went into the wrong house, but I heard that they left the kitchen and they didn't clean the kitchen.
So you hit my initial thought when I heard this story was it was a mistaken address. You know,
Well,
it was
that's
supposed
what
to
I
be,
was thinking. Yeah.
you know, number 9, but they went to number 6 instead because maybe the number was
Maybe
flipped
like they
over
were
on
also dyslexic.
That's right, exactly. They were dyslexic.
Yeah.
They had a day. You know
And
what I
I'm
mean? I have a day and I go
wondering,
to the
wild.
I'm wondering if they realized like it was like the wrong house or something because when they went into the kitchen, they didn't clean the kitchen. They just like left.
And I mean,
Like-
it seems legitimate enough that they spent time making origami toilet paper things.
Yeah.
Isn't that wicked funny?
I mean, that's legit. I mean, that's real.
Right.
You know, that's
I
real
mean,
maid service right
to
there.
me though, maybe like they were like, oh, there's no tip, like, but okay, so put it like this, right? I clean my house, but I would much rather clean my kitchen than my shower or toilet.
Yeah, I
the
agree.
toilet.
Like it's important
Yeah.
to clean both, of course, but like just in terms
I
of
go
things
in with
that I
like
would
the
rather
face
do.
shield and stuff. Oh man, it's bad.
You know, like you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
You think you would hear something like from neighbors too, saying like, oh, like if there was another story that came out saying like, oh, there was supposed to be a cleaner, and like then we heard that this happened, so maybe
Right.
they meant to go to our house or something. But I don't know. It's very bizarre.
All right, so the people watching, I want to know what you think. So actually, somebody did just chime in. I want to know what you think about this because I would have personally been freaked out. I mean, it's funny on its you know, it's funny, but it's not at the same time because somebody broke into your house. And, I mean, they cleaned.
He
but what
said
if
that at
they
first he was wicked. He like freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
What did Elise say? It sounds like someone was wicked high. Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, weed's legal here in the state now, so maybe they just got really. Molly Maid got super, you know,
It's like, you
ate
know
a
what?
whole
I
bunch
just
of
need to
cookies.
Got
organize.
blasted and wanted to clean everything.
Yeah, they ate the wrong cookies and the you know,
So
cleaned the house. I don't know.
I'm
weird.
just kind of curious, like, what type of strain would you have to ingest to really like be like, oh, let me go and clean someone else's house?
I mean, yeah, that's a good point.
You
Yeah,
know, like
right.
at what point?
Wait, also, let's keep in mind this happened probably in broad daylight too,
Probably, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like if this happened in broad daylight, like
yeah.
It's got to be a mistaken address. Something
Yeah,
like maybe
yeah.
they'll come forward and be like, "Oh, it was me. I was supposed to go to number 6,
Right.
but I went to number 9."
Yeah.
You know, because I
Yeah.
smoked some purple haze and
I don't know,
and
but
I don't know.
see the thing. But would you forgive them at that point, or would be like, oh, it's all good, but like, don't do that again?
I'd be fine with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
like, oh, no worries. You know, I mean,
Yeah. It's like, are you?
there's
gonna
no
press
harm, no
charges?
foul because they didn't steal anything. I don't
they
know.
really
though.
did you a
it-
service
If
by
anything,
cleaning
yeah, like
your
they did
house,
Yeah,
give,
right. I
but-
mean, thank you. I guess to the I'd say thank you.
Right. You know what they did rob you of? Your sense of security.
they did.
Yes,
Yeah.
You're,
That's
right.
it.
You're very right. You're very right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about this, guys. I'm
It's just a overall weird
When
story.
people are high, they do weird stuff. Yes, they do. At least they definitely do weird stuff. Yeah, so very, very crazy story. All right, let's talk about something else now, because that's a funny story.
It's hard because none of our stories are connected, like in
I know they're
any
not.
way
I have
at
no
all.
segues
Like
from one to the next.
literally, there's no way they.
In other news,
Yeah, you come to the Friday wrap up for the variety.
In other news,
Yes,
human
right.
composting.
Human composting. Let's get into it.
let me know too if you guys have any questions or if you want to talk about anything specific, because we have a few things we're going to talk about, but there's nothing like super town related necessarily, other than the news I just gave you, which I'll recap at some point. But
Do it up.
but yeah, let us know what you want to talk about too. So, or your thoughts. Even I'm curious to know what your thoughts on the golf course are too, because of that whole thing. That was clearly the big thing. And let me say this real quick. I'm slightly disappointed in the demeanor and tenor of a lot of the conversation that I saw. To be honest, I avoided Facebook the last 2 days because of this. The content of the conversation. There was a lot of good points brought up by both sides. But boy, some of the stuff, some of the rudeness was a little bit unexpected.
Believe it or not,
I'll
I'm
just
not
say
even
that.
in any of the groups. Like, I'm not in Tyngsborough Dock or Tyngsborough.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
After the last
what
2 days, I would say
conversation's
it's probably that's a good thing.
going on. But
I mean, I wouldn't have said anything anyways, because I don't live in this town, so I don't have a skin in the or any skin in the game. So not a big deal to
And
me. I
then
mean, I have my
there's-
opinion,
yeah.
but that's my opinion.
there's
personally,
me who
so.
lives on that road,
Right.
have my whole life. So.
But just know that,
Yeah.
that there is, for the people who still want it, there is a very small chance that it could still get purchased by the town, from what I understand. But that it is what it is. That was the vote, the will of the people, I guess. That's the way voting works. The way of our democracy or republic and all that stuff. The way it all works. So just it is what it is. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And I know that's a sour note for a lot of people, I'm sure, but don't fight about it. I mean, really, or fight about it, but fight about it in a respectable manner. I mean, for goodness sake. Like, some of the stuff I saw was just, I mean, even some of the things that were said at, one person in specific at town meeting, I was like, wow, that was just kind of straight up rude, but it is what it is. If you do, by the way, if you do want to watch it, if you weren't at town meeting and you don't know the whole story or what happened or want to see how the vote went and hear the details of the thing, so you can actually get the legitimate details of this, you can watch it on our VOD, tyngsborough.ma.gov. You can go to our live video on demand and streaming service, and it's right there available for you to watch the past town meeting. I got it up the next day because I knew people would want to watch it. So there was also a Lowell Sun article that was just done about it. Amaris Castillo wrote a bunch of stuff, and she got some interesting interviews from some of the other folks who we didn't hear from. Our town administrator here, but she got a good piece from Glenn Garreau, the guy who one of the owners of the golf course. So depending on what your take is, you can at least get some good info. And our numbers, but we should talk about our numbers, by the way, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Holy cow! I've never seen numbers that high on our Facebook stream of people watching. Part of it was because we had some broadcast issues on the Comcast side. So that drove a lot of people to watch the thing. We had this weird network problem that happened
It was bizarre.
It was very bizarre, and it wasn't so. And I have to apologize for anybody who was watching on TV. I know there was some TV issues. It wasn't us. We were streaming. The stream looked perfect. I was watching it the whole time, and then all of a sudden, the internet just went and just was like, "I'm not going to stream this anymore," and shut it down. And it wasn't just us. It was our IT guy that was there as well. I asked him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, all his web pages went kind of wacky for a good 15 minutes or so." I don't know what the deal was. If there was too many people in the building using the internet. There were a lot of
like faculty,
Tyngsborough Public School staff people who are on the Wi-Fi as well. So they were able to access and might have been streaming it or who knows what else. That could have been part of the problem. It could have been a Comcast Verizon wire issue going out to the internet.
Like we said, Comcast was like, what? It was down in the morning, right?
Yes, right. Comcast had been down that morning, had some issues. But there's also a time of day when the internet, when people get home from work, they finish supper and all that, and they all hit the internet or whatever to do whatever they want to do. And that will actually kind of crush down the amount of bandwidth that's available for everybody on the whole internet in that area. So number of factors. I honestly don't know what it was for sure, but we were streaming and doing the best we could. Yeah. And I kept resetting the darn thing. I'm like screaming at it, like, come on, like work. You were literally just working, like you have one job.
Yeah, this is brutal meeting here.
Yeah, no kidding. But we had
important stuff.
Yeah, but to get back onto what I was saying, we had like 115 people watching the Facebook stream at one point, which is awesome. The most I've seen is like 60, which was good. I was like, wow, that's a red letter day, right? But we had 115 at one point, so double what I'd seen as a high. So that was pretty cool. So neat that people got to watch, and thankfully, as we had the backup, and why Facebook never crashed, I don't know, but thankfully that we had that backup running when the TV part went down, which that's what makes me think it was the TV side of it, the outside internet part of it. But yeah, it was cool to see all those numbers. So, yay.
Yeah, awesome.
We did everything we could to make sure you could watch this thing and chime in. So that was good.
Either way, thanks for watching.
Yeah, right, exactly. Either way, thanks for watching. The vote went the way it went. That wasn't going to change, but
there was a lot of people there too.
There was
on
a
top
lot.
Of it,
I think so. The vote numbers, the people who actually voted were kind of lower than what I think the total was of people that were in the room. But then again, everybody was seated, which makes it look like there was more people in the room.
But there was a lot of chairs set up too, and then there were people standing in the back.
Yeah,
and that's like the other thing on that too. So say if we had like 115 people watching on Facebook who couldn't necessarily they might have felt like passionate enough to go and watch the town meeting, but couldn't actually cast a vote because they maybe weren't in the right location, maybe
they were working.
There's so many factors.
They had their kids, they couldn't leave, and that was an issue. They do provide daycare, child care at the event. So if you have kids, you can at least rely on that a little bit, which is helpful. So that's one thing you can do. But at the same time, there are obviously extenuating circumstances for a lot of people that I just can't make it for some particular reason or another. I want to read this real quick. Elise had an interesting comment. She said that the price was too high for a lot of us. This is again regarding the golf course. It's too high for a lot of us. I think it would have passed if the price was more reasonable, like $2.5 million or less. We didn't have to run it as a golf course. Right. So, that's an interesting point. And I heard that echoed quite a bit, to be honest. That the price was too high because it was like Keller Williams, I think, had valued it at like 1.1 to 1.5 or something. And I think that was excluding the two houses, the two separate parcels of land that were also attached to the deal, which I later found out were pulled from that deal. They were going to have the original owners, the current owners rather, sell those separately. So that might have been some of that decrease of the $200,000 because they started at $4 million, and then at the meeting they voted to get down to $3.8 million, which nobody had a problem with, obviously. And then, but then the value was still just different from Keller Williams to what, and that's a market survey. That's not necessarily what a builder would want to pay because they know they can make profit on it. But I mean, there's that. There's the price of the property was an interesting aspect for a lot of folks. So I mean, honestly, I'm sure a lot of people had a lot of different opinions on it. And some of it was price, some of it was that on one side it was the price of it, and on the other side it was I want to keep the small town. I don't want to see a whole lot of cars and all the traffic. And Kaylee, you live right down the street from it, right?
I live right on Sherburne, so that's my thing. Just thinking about how much traffic could potentially be on my road. We already have so many condos on our road. We have, I'd say, we have 3. And my house is right in the middle of all of them. So just to think that there could be another one, I mean, that's.
And a lot of people brought up the Maris property, which is where Innovation Academy sits right now. Apparently, and I don't know how long ago this was, but a few decades ago, they had the opportunity to buy the same type of situation. But then the town decided not to, and I don't know why, honestly. I couldn't tell you what the reasoning was behind it, but they didn't buy that, and a lot of people now regret it. Unfortunately, hindsight's 20/20 too. So, I'll bet in 10 years if this stays the way it is and it turns into a development, that a lot of people might have that same opinion, we should have bought it. We should have, but we didn't.
I mean, it's
maybe.
Concerning.
I mean, maybe
it's
not.
Concerning
It's concerning, right?
But
then there's the tax implication.
Yeah, the tax implications,
right.
but it's also the context within the times, what was going on in Tyngsborough, financially, residentially, all that other kind of stuff. 10 years ago, that's not the same right now.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting conundrum that the town is in, being there are so many things that we could do with the thing right now versus what people in the town will do in it towards the future. So that to me was the interesting thing.
And I just genuinely enjoy that's the living on a main road. That's the one spot of my road that I think is actually really beautiful, and I like driving past it, and it's just sad to see that could not be the case.
Yeah. Personally, I learned to golf there. My dad and I spent many mornings from freshman year of high school to when I graduated and beyond, playing that 2 and 3 times a week during the summer, spring and summer months. And so I had that attachment, that emotional attachment to it, but I mean, at the same time, I try not to let that cloud my judgment, but it does. Emotions play into it. So clearly there was a lot of people who had an emotional vested interest in it in that respect. So, but But yeah, it was interesting to watch that. It was really interesting to hear people's stories, the impassioned speeches. Selectman Rowe
a lot
gave
of really good speeches.
Yeah, Selectman Rowe gave a really nice speech. Augie Warren Allgrove gave a really nice speech. Yeah, he gave a really good speech. There was a lot of impassioned speeches from the other side because they were obviously for it, for purchasing it. But there was a lot of impassioned and good speeches on the other side. There was one woman who probably shouldn't have gotten up at all, but because she started it off on the wrong foot by saying what she said. But you're entitled to
the one part that cut out.
Yeah, right. The one part that cut out. And I will say, so you guys, the town of Tyngsborough, have an excellent moderator. Rob Kidd is like one of the best moderators I've seen. He does a really good job. You're really very lucky to have that guy be your moderator. He's funny. He's able to he was able to take the whole mood of the room and like flip it on its ear and kind of calm things down a little bit, which is nice.
Lighthearted, but also like serious.
Yeah, he's able to kind of interject a little bit of a joke into it, but still, keep the keep the seriousness and the focus, but bring it down a couple notches because that needed to happen. You're lucky to have a good moderator like that. So that's kind of cool. Rob Kidd does a really nice job. But it was an interesting meeting to watch for sure, and loaded with lots of. Boy, up until it flew actually, getting to the end, but once you got to that point, there was a lot of interesting stuff to be said by a lot of people. So clearly, a lot of passion on both sides of that thing. But yeah, just getting back to my original point, just take it easy, guys. I mean, really, you don't have to fight about it that much or that hard. State your point, state your opinion. Let's not fall into the bottom of the barrel conversation stuff where it turns into name calling and all that. It just doesn't, because nobody's going to change anybody's mind on Facebook. Just be honest.
We all have our own opinions, and that's okay.
Exactly. It's okay to have your own opinion, but you're not going to change anybody's mind, and just name calling isn't going to make anybody any better. It's not going to make anything any better. So just keep it above board. That's all.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, yeah. That's all there is to it, I guess. But anyways, it was a good meeting. It was fun to watch. So, and everything was well stated. And I think we did a pretty good job, getting the audio just right finally. My God, that room is so hard.
Minus the one,
the one feedback issue I had, yeah. That room is tough. For anybody who's ever done sound, and if you haven't done sound is like a nightmare. I'm telling you right now, it's a nightmare. It's the hardest thing. And that room is so difficult because it's all hard surfaces. And there's nothing to actually absorb any sound other than the people when they show up, but that doesn't help as much as you'd think. It's a tough room to do sound in. I was running around. In fact, there was probably, I don't know if they'll ever see this, but there was a couple women in the back who I kept going in the back and like, can you guys hear okay? Can you hear okay? Like I kept checking in with them because they were in the last row and just wanted to make sure that you could hear everything because of all the stuff that was being said. And it was such an important vote that, I wanted to make sure that people could hear it. It was tough though. Boy, was it tough getting that sound right. But we did get it. I think I licked it. I've tried some new techniques this time around that seem to make a pretty good difference. And yeah, it worked. Yep. So. Hopefully that showed up in the. I know it showed up in the recording because the recording sounded great. So if you didn't hear, go back and watch the video. But I was doing the best I could to get that live audio sounding good. So crazy. How did we get on that subject? We were just going to talk about something else.
I don't know.
Oh, we were talking about Facebook numbers. That's right. Yeah. That's how we got. Sorry, that went off.
I have no
way off on a tangent. All right, let's lighten the mood slightly. Do you want to
talk about the coffee or the human composting?
Let's do the coffee one first.
All right.
Yeah, I want to know about this because this $75 cup of coffee. Have you guys at home or wherever you're watching heard about this?
Where do they sell this?
$75 cup of coffee.
California.
I want to know what it tastes like. Well, why am I not surprised that it's in California?
I was just gonna say that, but like, of course.
California. There's your $75 cup of coffee right
it
there.
Literally looks like, I don't understand. Who would spend $75 just for a cup of coffee? Like
people who can.
If it wakes you up, it gets the job done.
Yeah. Jeff just left a nice comment. He said y'all did a great job, multiple angles, views, not just a stationary camera. Great editing, well done. Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate that.
Oh,
We tried. We worked
you.
our butts off to make that look good. It really was hard.
That was honestly for between setup time and breakdown time and all that other kind of stuff. I felt like technically we were out there. We were killing it.
We did pretty good. I mean, technically, that was probably one of the smoothest town meetings in the 3 years I've been here that we've had. So I was pleased, and I wish to continue that trend.
Yes.
Into the future. Anyways, back to the coffee. $75 cup of coffee. Would you buy this cup of coffee? Would anybody buy a cup of coffee for $75? What makes a $75 cup of coffee?
Let me actually read a little bit of the article here.
Go ahead.
So a California cafe is brewing up what it calls the world's most expensive coffee at $75 a cup. Klatch Coffee is serving an exclusive brew in the El Dia Natural Geisha 803 because it had in its branches in Southern California and San Francisco. The 803 in the coffee refers to the record-breaking $803 per pound in the organic beans sold at a recent auction after winning the Best of Panama Coffee competition, said Bo Tierra, I believe, the co-owner of Clatch Branch in San Francisco. He calls the annual competition to the coffee, essentially the coffee's world's equivalent to the Oscars. So that is interesting.
So we had some interesting conversation about this.
Yeah.
I know I worked my first job was at Stonehenge in Tyngsborough, right? And we had at the time we had won a Wine Spectator Award for the greatest wine list in the world. Amazing, right? We had a sommelier. His job was to know wine, every last little nuance you could possibly know about wine. He even had a little silver cup. You're supposed to drink out of a silver cup because the silver doesn't taint the flavor of the wine like any other cup might. Very interesting. There's a lot into it. With that said, his palate was so well trained that he could taste nuances in all these wines. The average person drinking these bottles of wine that he would sell to, unless they were of his caliber, couldn't really taste the nuances that he could taste. They might taste a good wine and know a good wine when they taste it, but they couldn't taste maybe the nuances. I think the same thing goes for coffee.
Yeah.
Really. Like I
wouldn't
I have a pretty good palate, but I wouldn't know the difference between a $75 cup and like a $5 Starbucks grande macchiato with whipped cream and caramel sauce on the top. You know what I mean? Like
that sounds good right now.
Right? Seriously.
When it comes
if you want to bring
stuff,
coffee,
though, I have like a bit of skepticism towards like some of it because it's like not all of you can be like the aficionados of all this kind of stuff. Like, yeah, you can claim to be. However, if you are, that's the thing, because there have been like multiple like placebo experiments done that people are like, oh yeah, we did a thing where we told people this is a more expensive wine and this is a more cheaper brand wine. Now for people kind of like, it's like one of those things where like if you believe in ghosts, you're gonna see ghosts. If you like see Jesus in like the tortilla, you're gonna see Jesus on the tortilla.
On the toast.
Yeah, like
that?
oh yeah.
Yes,
yeah. So you're gonna get that. So it's
awesome.
Not to say that people
yeah.
can't do that kind of stuff and have like that actual professional sense of the palate there. However, it's one of those things where I feel if an average person could not get that experience, like you're just making coffee, which is something that is like supposed to be like, which is like universally shared to a point, inaccessible in that way, where it's just like, oh yeah, like it's like, oh, there's like this web series and that for like there's one quote in it that I taken like, sometimes more expensive things are worse. You know?
Yes, there's that. Yes, I agree.
You know, there's just things where it's just like, oh, we get it just because we can, and it's like excess and that whole thing.
I'm not a huge drinker. I do like the occasional adult beverage, and I've had, when I worked at Stonehenge, I tried the Louis XIII cognac. Okay,
ooh,
it's like $115 a glass for a 1 ounce pour of this stuff. Right, legitimately very expensive, super expensive by the bottle, obviously.
Sure.
Right, and I've tried crummy, like, well, not crummy, but you know, Hennessy and like those kind of cognac. You know what I mean? No difference. They both burned and they both tasted disgusting. I don't like cognac, but I don't like cognac, and I'm not an astute cognac drinker. I'm not you know, I don't have the palate for it necessarily. But I couldn't tell the difference between and actually, honestly, the I will say this, the crummier cognacs, the lower end cognacs, because they add a little bit of they add a little bit of maybe some sweetener. There's a little more there's a little more something. They might taste a little better because they make them a little more palatable, a little more drinkable.
Right.
Whereas they won't add that to the super high end stuff. So you're right. And you know, if it costs more, it doesn't always taste better, kind of thing. I'm still you know, Elise even said she would try it on Facebook. If I had the opportunity and I had like $75 that was burning a hole in my pocket, I still don't think I would actually buy a cup of coffee. I'd go buy something.
If I was like if I was like wicked
maybe
rich,
though, I don't know.
If I was a millionaire, like, and I had money to throw, I'd be like, give me it.
If you got money to burn, that's one thing.
But I'm a broke college student right now, so that's not the case. I'll stick with my Dunkins.
It's actually super funny because I remember watching the late night segment of it, and they were watching like the video interview that was done on this coffee. And the guy said that, like, oh, if you put, like, any sugar or milk or cream or anything in there, that would be disrespecting the coffee. And I'm like,
but if you have a preference to drink it with sugar,
then you're disrespecting it, Kaylee. That's
like, that's ridiculous.
Give me a break.
And it's just like, so you have to drink this coffee black, otherwise it's like tainting the experience of it.
I don't know. It's, you know what? And that's where you get into the pinky's out, frou-frou, needs a silver
like,
cup, kind of. You're a
nose up.
sommelier.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing. You know, you deserve your $75 cup of coffee. You deserve to be parted with your money for a cup of coffee.
You're putting on airs just because you can.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't agree with it either.
Yeah,
The school I used to go to would do something like that.
Yeah.
High Point University would do something like that. If anyone knows that school, that's where I went for my first year.
Yeah.
There it is.
They would 100% do something like that. We had like a 5-star steakhouse, like
Really?
fancy.
On campus?
Yes.
Wow, really? Get out of town.
5 stars, and we could go there every week for free. We just used a meal swipe.
With the price of colleges, I feel like every college should have a 5-star steakhouse.
Oh, believe me,
there.
they don't.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So.
The lunch program is some like old
Wow.
pizza and some government
Yeah.
cheese.
Oh, can I tell you something that was on the menu recently at my former university?
Go ahead.
Now, don't gag when I say this.
Okay.
And I want to look into the camera here as I say it too. S'more quesadillas.
What?
Wait.
S'mores?
The things that
The
are in
chocolate with the
s'mores.
marshmallow?
Chocolate, marshmallows, graham cracker, but put it in a quesadilla. S'more quesadillas.
This is what they're serving college kids?
This is what they were serving
No
college
wonder why
kids.
college kids get the freshman 15.
S'mores, but make it a dinner.
No, but the thing,
I mean, really?
no, but
It's not healthy.
No. And Steve, this wasn't even for breakfast or anything. This was like what they were serving for dinner on the main line.
Really?
100%. Oh man. Oh wow. No, and I remember like my friend like putting a Snapchat on it and being like, guys, look what they're doing in the cafeteria today. And after they were just like recording people come into the cafeteria, look at like the lunch screen, and was just like their faces just turned into disgust, being like, I'm so hungry
That's
right
crazy.
now, and this is what I'm walking into.
Get out
S'more
of town.
quesadillas.
Come on. Come
Oh,
on.
man.
Come
No.
on. Listen,
Yep.
I'm going to say this, and I say this in all seriousness. College people who run these colleges, you need to step it up. People are watching this stuff. I just saw an article the other day about me and the stuff that they spend money on, lots of sports tickets and like all the. I mean, you guys seriously.
Yeah. I need to ramble for a second.
Go ahead.
Go off.
Do it up. Ramble on.
When I went to High
College
Point,
student.
okay, please hear me out on this. We literally for Christmas had horse carriage drawn rides around campus.
Really?
Wow.
There was Clydesdale horses with carriages just shuffling people around campus. Then we had like all these.
I mean, it's nice, but
we had all these extravagant like things, celebrations. We had a huge Thanksgiving, which is nice, but like it was crazy, like ridiculous. Like we had free massages for finals week, which was nice, but like
those things are
But like literally, I'm spending money for like my like education.
So
like where is this going? Like
so here's the thing, and I will say this to your point. At least they were giving that to the students. The students, it's not like the administration was up there like, getting all rubbed up and stuff. They were doing it for the students.
Yeah, they did give faculty
cool.
a pretty good Christmas gift. I'm pretty sure they got like
but
bikes. All got like really nice bikes or something.
But see, that's the kind of when they.
It's like it's just an uppity school, and like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know that when I was going to go there. But
I don't know.
it like some of the things I'm trying to remember what else there was. Like there was just like there was a huge Earth Day thing when we had like llamas and like. All these animals on camp. It was like a carnival. It was just. We had a little train made for Christmas when it was insane.
Wow.
Like literally unheard
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it is. And part of the other thing too is that like with the money that you get, like college students are put under like this like constant pressure, and it's like although like yes, your money should be going towards your education, but it's also like. If you're living on campus, there's like a bit of like an experience thing, and even if you're living off campus too, like you're still a student. You have every right to still go to that carnival.
Right.
If you look up pictures of High Point, if you Google High Point University Christmas, we had over 100 like over 6 foot nutcrackers all over campus.
Wow.
Oh, really?
It's just
Clearly they take their Christmas serious down there.
Yeah,
Very.
no,
At High Point, yeah.
It's
Which is
probably
cool.
even like a thing too, where it's just like if you could afford to go there, like the realm of having like nutcrackers and carnivals and llamas isn't necessarily like outside of your pay grade.
I'm
Like, that might be
yeah.
something that you see every day if you could afford to go there, or if you have like family that went there, or like whatever it might be.
After my first year, I was like,
Interesting. The s'more quesadilla thing though, this has
yeah,
me
that's actually
slightly
wicked.
baffled
that's wicked
and like,
funny.
Yeah,
my
no.
goodness, like we're worried about kids and what they're eating, and we're giving our college students. No wonder why the
S'more
freshman
quesadillas.
15 is a
is
thing.
real.
Yeah,
Hey.
I mean that's just not helping
Some
the
of the
situation.
pictures of what people find in their food too at like CAFs. Like I know at my school that I go to now, someone found like I think it was either like a fly or like a screw or something
Oh,
in their
what?
food.
But
Wait,
I mean,
a
that happens
screw?
that kind of stuff
Yeah,
happens
no,
in
that
restaurants all over.
Mm.
I had I
Yeah.
won't name the restaurant, but
Mhm.
I went and got country fried chicken at a local restaurant, not local in Tyngsborough, but local in the area.
Mm.
And there was pieces of the steel wool that you use to scrub pans
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
There was pieces of the steel wool that had ended up in the batter. And like I remember I
Oh,
was chewing on one
man.
bite, and luckily I caught it early enough that
Right.
kind of bit down, and I was like, ooh, that doesn't feel right. And I pulled it out, and sure enough, it was this like
Oh my
thread about that long of
God.
steel wool. The thick steel wool too, the restaurant stuff,
Oh,
not the like
right,
the
right,
very
right.
fine, 000
And it's
steel wool
just
they
like,
use.
no, everybody's eating off this plate.
Yeah,
type of-
right.
Wow.
And I'm like, and I pulled out a few more pieces
That's
after
pretty
that. And I
bad.
sent it
Mm.
back. I was like, hey, I can't eat this, but
Right.
and they caught my meal, thankfully. But I mean that happens, you
It
find.
does.
But that's the food service people.
But I mean, there's
Yeah.
pictures everywhere of like
goofing up.
college food, like just so
Mhm.
nasty. Like,
Yeah. No,
So
It
back
is.
back on the
Mm.
coffee thing.
yeah.
Have you guys heard of civet coffee?
No.
Never heard of civet coffee?
Well, is
No,
that
I'm-
the-
I'm
is
not-
that
I'm
the
very
cat?
coffee
That's
illiterate.
it's like it's this creature in I think it's in Sumatra or wherever.
is it a type of cat, or is
it's a I don't know
or
if it's
like
a
a-
cat. It might be a feline-ish type
Yeah.
thing. That eats coffee beans and then poops them out.
which calls
and
them
then they
cherries?
collect
I
the
didn't know that
beans.
actually.
Yeah,
called
it's-
cherries.
That's the thing around it. It
Yeah,
looks
I
like a
didn't know
cherry.
that, yeah.
And then they take
Mhm.
that and roast it and make coffee, and it's supposed to be like this amazing coffee. It's just gross.
Yeah.
Just
It's
gross.
just I would never
Awful and
like
gross.
that's just nasty. Like
Mm.
I don't know who ever thought of that. Like, oh, let's literally just feed this.
I'll tell you what. Somebody who really
It's-
wanted a cup of coffee.
It's,
like,
like,
okay.
are you
Well,
that
it's available.
desperate?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like, Muffin, you ate all the beans. And then it's just like,
I'll just wait till he pooped them out and then I'll roast
He looks
them.
at it, he's like, meow.
Right.
Yeah, like that's so gross, and they charge so much for it
Right.
too. It's like a delicacy.
Ridiculous.
$803 per pound beans.
But people will pay for it, and they pay.
Yeah.
It's not $803 a pound,
It's
but
expensive,
it's expensive.
though.
Yeah,
And-
it's not cheap.
Yeah.
Sure.
Apparently, you can get that expensive though, according
Yeah.
to this article. It's
Good grief! I don't know. I don't
Mm.
know. Let's not talk about poop anymore.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we have one more poop story we should talk about. How about the thing
Oh.
where people send? All right, so this is funny. I heard about this a number of years ago, but you
Mm.
can go to this website. I believe it's poopsenders.com.
It's poop Sundays.
Not that we're promoting any of this stuff, but
Mhm.
you can actually order for somebody you
Sponsored.
don't like. And maybe I shouldn't tell you this because of what happened with the whole golf course thing. I probably shouldn't bring this up.
Oh no.
Oh jeez,
gonna
I
be
didn't
a
even think
rash
of
of-
that.
A rash of poop sent around town. You can actually order this your choice of poop and have it sent to somebody anonymously, so they'll never find out. And if it teases them in the beginning when you open up the package. I've never received one, by the way. I'm just from the testimonials. I
You're
read.
like, I know from personal
Right? Yeah, no. I read the testimonials, but they tease them and tell you that they'll tell you who it is. But you have to dig through it to find the card that has the
And
name
it's
on
like
it.
it's not like it's literally like elephant poop, gorilla poop.
Right, like all these crazy things.
Yeah,
it's,
no.
So
it's pretty darn
nasty.
funny. So if there's somebody you don't like, check that out, and maybe you can send them.
Or you could take a better approach and maybe do the potato, where you can get a potato sent to your house with something written on
You
it.
probably can get like a pet rock and stuff sent to people too,
Yeah.
which might be a little.
There's a
though-
confetti one. Just get confetti
Yeah,
exploded in
there you
your
go.
face.
right. Oh, I could see that going wrong.
Wow, no.
Yeah.
You could also like guarantee this anonymously, like.
Yes, it's guaranteed
to this
anonymous.
web,
Yeah. It's legitimately anonymous.
Oh my god, you're on the website.
I'm on the
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It's a
yeah.
poop brown color.
It is.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's
I'm not gonna scroll up, or else
That's-
you're gonna see like an elephant rectum.
Ew.
Please, yes, don't
Yeah.
scroll. I'll bet you there's been a lot of these sent to the White House these days.
Hey, can you send anything to the White House like that?
I don't
or-
think you can.
Yeah, I was about to say. Like,
Yeah, I don't think you can just send stuff to the White House. It
So
goes through like
bad.
probably some
yeah.
screening service or
Mm.
checks it for everything.
It's
Anyway,
gotta be.
all right. So you had an interesting story, Raysam.
Mm.
Hang on. Before we get to that, let me just quickly recap. So obviously this is the Friday wrap up. We're talking about some just kind of random stuff. Just kind
We're
of having fun.
talking about.
There
Mhm.
are a couple things just to note. So if you have trash pickup on Monday, Dave Leo had a funny comment. Said I'll probably get a truckload. And hi Pearl from Lowell.
Mm.
If you live in town and you are Monday pickup for trash, it's obviously delayed because of the Memorial Day holiday. Also, don't forget to come out to the Memorial Day parade at 11 o'clock on Monday as well. We're going to be running from Old Town Hall down the Middlesex Road to the first monument on the town common next to the first parish, and then back up across the bridge down to the American Legion. It usually goes till about 12:30, give or take, by the time we get to the end of the whole thing. But an awesome day. Come out, show your appreciation for your veterans and the many who have lost their lives in support of our country, fighting for this country and everything that it is, and that we are allowed today, all those freedoms that we're allowed. So definitely come out and show your support for Memorial Day. It's a good day. It's a lot of fun. There'll be the usual cast of characters there, from the police, the fire, not that they're characters, but they can be. The police, the fire, the National Guard, the Minutemen, all of our selectmen generally show up in administration. Lots of kids will be marching in the parade, the high school band. There's a bike and wagon decorating contest if you want to join in that. It's a lot of fun. So you can actually march in the parade if you would like to do that too. So definitely a cool day. Come out, check it out. Be a lot of fun. And also, don't forget you can watch this broadcast a whole bunch of different places. Facebook, YouTube, TyngsboroughMA.gov, and Comcast 8 and Verizon 29 here in the town of Tyngsborough. And if you have questions, feel free to chime in on Facebook or YouTube if you guys want to ask questions or join in. And if you have other questions that aren't related to the show specifically that you want to ask me and see if I can get an answer on, send those to sbrogan@tyngsboroughma.gov, and I'll do my best to get the questions answered. I usually ask around Town Hall. Most of the answers come from a lot of the answers come from the website, but a lot of times I have to dig a little deeper and ask a specific department head about stuff. So, hi to everybody who's watching, by the way. Some people from Lowell. There's my buddy from North Carolina is watching. Dave Leo is in Aruba right now. So that's cool. We got people. We're a national program at this point, right?
Hey.
That's pretty
Ask
neat.
him what part. Do you know what part of?
Because we're in Aruba right
Do you know
now.
what part of North Carolina he's from?
Dennis is in. Oh my goodness, what is the name of the town? Dennis, I forget.
Because he probably knows the school that I went to. It's
He
in
might.
North
He just moved
Carolina.
down though, just a few months ago.
Yeah.
So thanks to everybody watching. We appreciate you guys tuning in and commenting and stuff like that. Also, Elise, if you're still watching, I don't have any updates on the Flint Corner paving and construction when those poles are coming down. I do know, for the many people who are concerned about this, the reason why the poles were not pulled out of the ground is because they were waiting for Verizon. If you drive by there, take a look at the telephone poles. Okay, and look at the wires that are left on the poles that are in the middle of not in the middle of the road, but on the edge of the road there, a few feet from the curb. And the wires that are there, those are our telephone wires. Those are our telephone and internet wires. The stuff up above on the other poles, that's all power lines. So those have been moved. That's National Grid and a few others. The ones that are still there, I believe, from what I understand, it was Verizon who needs to move that stuff. And because of coordination issues, which isn't always easy, Stokesdale, that's where Dennis is from. Coordination isn't always easy. With these guys to move wires on poles because it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of coordination to get this to happen in a timely fashion. They just weren't able to get it together quickly enough for that initial paving project. The other caveat to this is the fact that they didn't actually do the top coat on that area because the poles are still in the ground. So they will pull the poles at some point once those wires get moved. I don't know when. I honestly have no idea. But once they pull those, they will come back and they'll do the top coat because they do 2 layers of paving. They'll do the top coat and finish that up and make it look all nice and smooth, and you'll never know the difference. It'll look fantastic and wonderful. And yeah, that was discussed for a bit. All things good. That was discussed for a bit on Facebook as well. Man, it's been rough on Facebook on these Tyngsborough groups lately.
Taking a beating.
Yeah. Right, good point, Elise. Thank you. And the weather has not been that great either. There's been tons of rain. I don't know if they can't pave in the rain. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you.
No.
I would imagine that there's issues.
It's been so bad out.
It's been it's just been raining like crazy. It's been cold.
Cloudy and bitter.
Yeah, it's been kind of a weird summer, or spring so far. And summer's almost here too.
Yeah. Right
So that's the update I do have for you, which isn't much of an update, but at least it's somewhat of an explanation. Hopefully it makes sense to the lot of you, because there's been a lot of discussion on that. Boy, has it been a rough. It's been interesting to watch that conversation. And again, I'm just fly on the wall with that stuff because I don't want to get into the thick of it. But there were some strange comments being made. But I can understand because people drive through it all the time and they get mad and it's like, why do they do this? And I don't understand. There's usually reasons behind it. It's not like somebody just didn't think about it. It's because it's usually a coordination issue, to be honest with you. That's the case. Anyways, back on what I was talking about, trash pickup, don't forget it's moved, and also the Memorial Day Parade on Monday. Come out and check that out, 11 o'clock, and be a good day. So back to what we were talking about for subjects now. Human composting.
Human composting.
Tell me about.
I don't know much about it either.
I'm scared of this. Dave Leo. Stop rubbing it in, please. He's like 85 and sunny. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually really nice here too. What is the temperature right now?
What's
the current temperature?
Let's see.
Where's that thing that comes in? The current temperature
It's 67.
Okay, so I mean that's not bad. And sunny though. Sunny, it's good. It's good. So yeah, that's cool.
UV index is 6.
My Dennis in North Carolina says it's 90 today. Yeah, I hate you too.
Yeah, it
rubbing it in.
Mostly
Thanks, guys.
cloudy and breezy today, though.
I want to know this. Where has the nice weather been? What is going on with the weather? Seriously, it's rained for like just so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
It's
and it's
bad.
been cold. Like I just was able to turn the heat off last week. Finally,
I
in the middle
still
of May.
have my heat on. I had my heat on yesterday.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
always like we already talked about
Perpetually
this.
cold,
I'm
yeah.
like always cold. I'm never warm, so I like sleep with the heat on too. Like,
I think
it's
Mother
just-
Nature's mad at us. I really
yeah,
do.
probably.
Something's wrong. It's like the weather's just been ridiculous.
Take care of our earth, people.
Yeah, right. Seriously, no kidding.
Speaking of going back to the earth,
Human
composting.
composting.
Segue. Yeah, there we
Segues.
Very nice.
So it says here in this article that human composting as an alternative to burial or cremation is signed into law in Washington.
Huh.
So essentially, in just a few short weeks, your body could be turned into clean, nutrient-rich soil. So essentially, Governor Jay Inslee, I believe, signed a law making it legal for licensed facilities to offer natural organic reduction, which turns a body mixed with substances such as wood chips and straw into soil in a span of just several weeks. So essentially, and I'm not like the most like well versed on the topic of composting. However, I do know that it's like supposed to be good and providing like a really good like soil for other things
compost
to grow.
is fantastic. Yeah.
You know
if
what I
you're
mean?
a gardener, your compost is your lifeblood. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
So it's one of those things where it's
Not sure how I feel about it.
no, I mean like it's you can compost like a bunch of things that are like kind of like rotting food and things like that. Where,
Right,
like,
but meat is not supposed to be composted.
Yes.
Because it can, one, attracts rodents and other issues, but it doesn't, it just rots. It doesn't compost per se. I wonder what they're doing to the body to, like, are they cremating beforehand, or is it just they just throw a body in? I mean,
so it says here in the article that the process is based of that of livestock composting, which has been used by farmers for several years now.
Okay, I guess I didn't realize you do this.
Washington already has several green cemeteries where people can be buried without embalming caskets or headstones.
Okay.
Is this like the one like being made into a tree?
So funny that you say
that's
that.
pretty
Elise
cool.
just brought that up as well. You can have yourself made into a tree. And I'll be honest with you. When I go, I hope it's not soon, but when I go, I want to actually have the same thing done. I want to be, I believe they cremate you and they put you in your ashes into a pot with a seed or a thing with a seed. And then you can have your family plant you someplace and you just grow into a tree.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's really cool. There's, obviously there's the people who want to have their headstone and they want to be remembered and whatever. But after 100 years, nobody's going to remember you anyways. After 50 years, nobody's going to remember you. They're not going to go to your grave every day.
Yeah, no.
And it just costs a bunch of money to have that done. It's very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
To have a burial, like a legitimate burial done. But I like the tree thing.
It's very funny, like the industry that we have around death.
Yeah,
you know, like
it's very interesting.
Like it's an actual thing. Like you can like I guess like I've seen like some nice caskets in my days and funerals. I'm like, oh, like that's just gonna go on the ground like just like that. So I don't know, and even like the inside is also very nice too. But like it's like it does depend on the person and how like they want to like go out. So I think that this is an interesting alternative to being like buried traditionally or being cremated.
And if you still want to have the traditional, like the viewing, at a wake, you can rent a casket. They'll rent you the casket for the evening or whatever, and then you get taken out of it and they reuse the casket for the next person. So you can still do that and still have it be traditional, but then go au natural and just get buried in the ground. You don't need to, because the funny thing is too, they put you in a concrete box inside in the ground that they put the casket into. So there's a concrete box and then the casket goes inside of it with a cover and then they bury all that. So nothing even rots away. Your body just kind of decomposes inside the thing and gets all gross and. Like there's almost no, I don't know. I never understood the point of that.
No,
I never quite got it.
Yeah.
Like why?
It's funny just kind of as
Egyptians.
History goes on. You know what I mean? Like we just take certain rituals here and there, and like even funerals too. Like depending on like whatever culture you're coming from, they're celebrated differently.
Right.
You know?
True.
Like I know in like
some are happy parties.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a celebration. Of
life.
Within
Celebration
my
of life,
family
right.
too, it's like not necessarily like we're wearing black or anything. It's like we're wearing white. Like there's just like different things that you could do there. But I don't know. Like I guess like I want to pose this question to y'all. Like, if you had to choose what you do with your body after you pass on, like what would you do?
Wait, so I'm sorry, I missed. I was reading.
Like if you had to like after we pass,
yeah,
what would you want done to your body if you could select? Like, would you want to be in a casket? Would you want to be cremated?
And you can pick that before you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I want the tree thing. I'm down with the tree
Okay.
thing. I actually I've decided that a couple years ago when I heard about it. I was like, that's what I want when I die. I want to be turned into a tree and planted. Hopefully, I have some property somewhere that my family can plant me. So they don't just cut me down a year later. I want to be like the Giving Tree. You ever read that little book?
Yeah.
Yes, that's how I feel about it.
Ooh, Steve, would you want to be like a chair? Would you want to be made into furniture?
Well, I'd want to pick the tree too. I'd want like a burl maple or some type of majestic, beautiful tree, weeping willow, something that people love to look at, and we'll have picnics under. Maybe I don't know. It's weird. Hey. It's weird to think about your death.
So weird to think about. Like,
it is.
Oh, this tree's named Steve.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Like, what?
I mean, is the Steve tree? Is the tree Steve, or was it Steve, but is now the tree? Like which one is it?
Right, the philosophical question. Yeah.
It's just like, is Steve
I'm done
really
with my
Steve?
philosophy class. Yeah. I'm done with that.
I don't know exactly what my answer is, but like the only thing coming into my mind right now is like being taxidermied.
Yeah.
Just imagine like me just like
that would be weird.
Stuffed.
Ew.
So
oh my God,
do you remember Google? What was the name of the show? Body Work Bodies. God, what was the name of the show? I think it was Body Work. I want to say
Body Work. Bath and Body Work.
No.
Yeah, Body Work.
They took people donated their bodies to some of you guys might remember this. They donated their bodies to science, and then this guy, a scientist guy or whatever, this group of people, I forget how it worked exactly, but they took the bodies and they had a special way of preserving them, and they basically could do like cutaways of the human body. Like they had one where it was like the muscle structure minus the skin.
Sure.
Then they had like you could see like the organ. They had all these different ways of showing the body, and it was a traveling show.
Okay.
That you could. I think it was Body Works. I'm pretty sure it was the name of it. But you could go and see this, and it was really. I never actually got to go see it, but I googled the pictures because I was curious, you know, and really fascinating. Like they put the bodies in certain poses, so you could see like what muscle groups were doing certain things in certain poses, and it was fascinating, like really neat to see. And I kept missing it. It came to Boston a couple times, and I kept missing it. If they come again, I want to go check it out because it's one thing I've really liked it.
What if in the future, when we get to a point where we're like robot, and again, like robotics are pretty advanced at this point too.
Yeah.
But imagine if you could just like take your skin and just like replace it on the inside with like a robot, so that way like, it actually just like moves in your skin, and you could record your voice and have it say a bunch of things, and actually have like your body be controlled by AI. However, it's still like your skin, but not quite your inside. So that way you're kind of immortal in that way.
But would your brain and your consciousness still be there?
The consciousness, not exactly. However, you could program the AI to respond the way that you would respond.
Just kind of put this thing into
it. It's not you, but it is you.
Heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. I like getting into like the Black Mirror Twilight Zone type of things.
I get what you're saying, but that's in my opinion, that's not you. If your consciousness is not there, that's not you. Yeah, that's not, because then that's just kind of like
you can upload your consciousness to the cloud.
Okay, so and that would be right if you could somehow have your consciousness be part of it. Then
it's like, but how freaky would that be to be like, oh yeah, like they like died at one point, but they're like back now, and they can like kind of like be like, oh yeah, like you're just like walking around like normal, like kind of going about your day
in a robotic body.
Yeah, in a robotic body.
Be like Data from Star Trek. Remember that show?
Yeah, which one? Okay. Which one?
The Next Generation.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
But still, no. Hey. I just think that would be so like weird though, and I feel like
that's like the end of the era. That's too much for me.
That is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Y'all ever watch Blade Runner? You know.
Yeah. Like, I do like this idea with the human composting though, where you can like. You can reuse your body. I mean, like I say, I would go for the tree thing, but that's a cool way to do it too. I mean, there's also, I would hope that these people who are doing the composting thing are also doing like organ donation maybe, so that they can help other people, because that's a big thing. We have a couple guys, one on our fire department actually, that's a heart transplant recipient. Amazing story. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people that need those kind of things too, so hopefully they're doing that kind of stuff. But it's an interesting idea. I'd be curious to see how they're actually composting the people, because meat's no good, I mean, I try to try to compost as much as we can, but we also have chickens, so they eat a lot of our scraps. So there's not usually much left to compost.
Either way, someone's using it.
Right, exactly. And we get eggs from it, so it's kind of a nice circle. Things come around and around. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, interesting story for sure.
Right.
I have no segue in from that into any of these things. Boy, this is brutal today.
There's no way.
We can either talk about spicy nugs or advertising.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about chickens.
So
let's talk about chicken nuggets.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Good point.
Kaylee.
Well done, Kaylee. Well done. She's paying attention today. Exactly. All right. You get it.
Always staying sharp.
So this is a funny story. Something about chicken nuggets, which will help us segue into the marketing thing. But all right, so spicy chicken nuggets.
I've never tried them.
You never had them?
No.
I tried them when they first came out. I don't remember how long
I like
ago
buffalo wings.
Did not like them myself, personally.
My brothers have had them, and they said that it's not necessarily spicy, but just seasoned.
Okay.
But the article essentially is that spicy nuggets will come back to Wendy's because Chance the Rapper made a wish. And that wish was via a tweet that he said that I'm putting out positive vibes into the universe, essentially, and that Wendy's will bring back these spicy chicken nuggets at some point.
What a weird thing to wish for.
Who is Chance the Rapper?
Chance the Rapper, he's a rapper. He's good. He's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Chicago. Coming from Chicago.
He's pretty famous.
No, good rapper.
I mean,
I'm not really a rap person. So.
Okay.
I mean, I like some rap, but not. I like old school rap. Kind of stuff.
Chance, I would say, is a rapper that has a lot of positive things. A lot of his music is very upbeat and not in a corny way. He's still talking about his experiences with his family, his friends. He's also talking about his relationship with God and a bunch of things like that.
So he's not all about gangs and girls and fast cars. Okay.
He's good.
I can respect that. Then.
He's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yes.
So he likes spicy chicken nuggets. He asked for spicy chicken nuggets to come back.
And enough people on Twitter were like, "Yes, let's back this up." And then Wendy's, because they also have a Twitter account too, and says. And verbatim, this is what I'm going to say. Y'all keep asking, so here's your chance. The people in charge says, if you guys can get our tweet, this is the one right here, to 2 million likes, they will bring back spicy chicken nuggets. Let's freaking do this.
That's crowdsourcing right there.
It is.
I mean, they had to have known already that they were going to bring it back, and they just wanted some publicity.
Maybe.
Maybe it could have been
jumped
a thing
right.
on the teeter side, because the thing is, too, is that getting money is one thing. However, actually talking about Wendy's, that's the real thing. To be able to be oh, Wendy's is always staying relevant in the news because we're not talking about McDonald's right now. We're not talking about Burger King right now. We're talking about Wendy's.
No, funny thing is when people talk about McDonald's, they're talking about not feeling well and
Wendy's is probably my favorite fast food chain, out of all three.
Of the burgers? Yeah, they're good.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so this leads me to another question. I want to know what the people in Facebook social media land think about what products that you've had in the past that you miss that were limited time offers, limited edition, or they made them for a while and they just weren't popular enough, but you were oh my God, I love those so much. That was the best. Back when I was little, Crystal Pepsi came out. It was clear Pepsi.
Yeah.
Was wicked good. I was never a huge soda fan, but it was really good. And maybe just because it was clear, I don't know. It was basically Sprite and a little Pepsi label on it. But more recently, habanero Doritos. Those were awesome. Those were wicked good. One of my favorite things.
Really?
Yeah.
And they disappeared pretty quickly because not a lot of people like super spicy stuff, even though I did. They burned. I'll tell you that both ways.
Wow. Yeah.
They were hot.
There's no products that I really love that haven't come back, but there's this one. This is so random, but there's this one yogurt that I tried. Yeah. Probably a month ago, and it was literally the best yogurt I've ever eaten, and have not been able to find it in Market Basket ever since. It's the Stonyfield or whatever.
Yeah, Stonyfields.
It's the organic. It's called Chocolate Underground.
Okay.
It was so good, and I have not seen it in Market Basket ever since.
Maybe it was a limited run or something?
And I'm sad because that's I loved it. It was so good. So bring it back if anyone has any connections.
All right.
So good.
How about you, Ray Sam?
Oh, man. I really have to process that one. The one thing I could think about right now is there was this coconut whipped cream that they used to have in Market Basket.
Yes, recently, right? In the last 6 months?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They off the shelves. I can only find one that's the Ready Whip equivalent.
I know why they did it too, because we bought it a couple times. I'm pretty sure anyways. This is my thought on it.
Sure.
We bought it a couple times. If you used a little bit of it, or even just took a mouthful of it or whatever, used it, and then put it back in the refrigerator, it would not work. Guaranteed 100% of the time would not work after that.
Really?
It guaranteed. We did it twice. We bought it, and it was expensive. It was like $4 or $5 $5 a bottle or something like that. Because it was like real coconut stuff.
Yeah.
And we would use it, like we'd taste it, when we got home from the market, I want to try it. We'd taste it real quick, put it back in the refrigerator, go to use it that night or the next day, and it would not work.
What
would
makes
not
that
shoot
different
the coconut out.
from any other?
No idea why. I don't know if it
cream?
was because it's too thick.
I don't know. I don't
something, but
when I had it, I don't recall having that problem though.
No?
No, I
twice that happened
to
us.
No, but still though, like that twice is like that's still concerning though.
Yeah. I'll bet you more people than not had that happen to them, and it just stopped working. Like it's the most frustrating thing. We got a half full container of whipped cream, and you're like, trying to spray it in your mouth or whatever. It's like not shooting out, because it's out of air or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean that's my guess. Oh, McRibs. No. Dennis mentioned the McRibs. Ooh. There's another one that they took away, and they bring back every now and again.
Sorry.
Steve, have you tried the McDonald's pizza?
What?
There is pizza
I'm sorry,
served
that's
at McDonald's
sacrilege. You can't say that. That's not.
That's that's pushing it. Like,
straight up, like, there used to be McDonald's pizza, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it stopped in like the '90s or so." And
Dear McDonald's,
there was also like hot dogs.
Again.
I think. Right?
I'm making a tweet. Chance the Rapper, sponsor me.
That's awesome. I'm not even kidding you when I say that McDonald's. Please don't ever do that again. Ever.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not a huge McDonald's girl.
Nah,
it makes me feel like crap after you.
Wow.
Yeah. What?
Okay, so I'm seeing 2017 articles saying that some McDonald's locations that still serve the pizza.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I don't know, man. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't eat that if that was the last pizza on the planet.
September 17th.
That's a bad pizza, too.
It says the last 2 McDonald's selling pizza have been forced to stop.
Forced? They've been forced to stop.
Like, that'll do.
Good.
This is my shocked face.
That's good.
Like, yeah. Right. Oh, God.
That's awesome. Oh, my God.
Yikes.
That's horrible. Come on.
That's funny.
So here's a cool one. So how about a product that you were desperate for or just really wanted, and then they actually came through, and for me it was the toasted Cheez-It.
Toasted Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Toasted
That's
Cheez-Its.
Those are so good.
Dude, I used to pick through the regular box of Cheez-Its looking for the burnt Cheez-Its. And my wife, she can't stand them. She doesn't like the burnt Cheez-Its. She'd always give them to me if there was any in there. And then they came out with them, and we were all like, oh my goodness, like what in the world is this?
I don't know.
That was cool.
I'm trying to think of
that was a good day.
Like they make so many flavors of Oreo, but I can't think of any like one that I like more than the original.
The minty ones were good. Did you try those?
Yeah.
Those were good.
Yeah.
I'm not like a huge mint person though. Kind of reminds me of toothpaste.
I mean, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Like a little bit off the topic though. Like I feel like I'm like usually like a sucker for like new things where I'm like, oh man, like I haven't tried that. Like maybe that'll taste good, maybe it won't. And my brother pointed this out, how it's like very interesting in the way that they make like new cereals, but only like a limited time to see if people actually are like biting.
Oh,
that's usually what they do, right?
Did you hear they just introduced a drumstick cereal? Like the drumsticks ice cream?
Oh yeah.
Oh
the
my
chocolate
gosh,
with the
has
nuts.
anyone heard of this?
No,
yeah,
I haven't.
I thought
you
meant
apparently
like
not.
Drumsticks, and I was like, they're putting chicken and milk.
Ew! Imagine they made chicken flavored cereal.
It comes with a side of honey and grape juice.
Ew.
Oh no!
Some chicken, some fried chicken.
Look it up.
I feel legitimately sick right now.
They made drumstick cereal, like the ice cream.
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying.
They made that. I don't know when, but I think
Is it good?
That's hilarious.
Oh, I've never tried it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess I don't buy
enough
cereal.
I like that's like one job I really do not envy, trying to pitch new flavored cereals. Because like you have the classics,
right?
Like you have like like depending.
And they honestly haven't changed a whole lot since I was a little kid.
No.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though. It's so hard for it to get new cereals to stick. Like I feel like the one that's been like the most reoccurring as I've seen it is Captain Crunch Oops All Crunch Berries.
Oh yeah,
like,
right.
Oops, all berries. There was an accident at the factory.
Right.
We're just gonna give it to you.
It's exactly the commercial too.
Oh,
you did that perfectly.
I thought of something
that?
When a company actually did something.
You don't have to raise your hand, by the way.
I was like, oh, excited. The all pink Starburst.
Ooh.
They made the all pink Starburst bag.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
What flavor is that one?
I don't. It's
strawberry?
a strawberry.
Is it strawberry?
But it's just like also like a Starburst strawberry, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
That was like the one. Like I don't even eat candy that much, but when
that's good.
Those are really good.
Mentos did that with the strawberry flavored. They have the one pack you can get that's all strawberry Mentos.
Oh, okay.
And then there's the the mixed one, and then there's like the minty ones. But that's interesting.
Yeah, I remember one thing that was like big, like during like the Christmas season. But it was cranberry Sprite.
Honestly, it kind of sounds good.
No, cranberry Sprite.
I think I could like that.
Sprite
Wait a minute, this was ringing a bell. I want to say I've had this.
Yeah, no, it's like been a reoccurring thing for a while. However, because of meme culture within like the past year, there was like a Sprite cranberry commercial with like LeBron James, and after people were like, "Oh wow, it's so funny," and after like, it was like a thing where me and my brothers were like, "Oh, let's just go like find like a bottle or a case. It can't be that hard to find."
Yeah.
It was so hard to find.
Really?
It was dumb hard to find. Like we were just like going into like CVS's, Market Baskets, depending on which one. They wouldn't have it because people were like, "No, we just don't have them. It's so popular." And after I'm like, "Okay, so like this doesn't seem as organic as like a viral thing." However, a lot of people are like paying to go and get Sprite cranberry. And it wasn't until we went over to the Market Basket in Nashua that I saw it. And I literally, like, I'm embarrassed that I did this, but I, like, actually, like, made an audible, like, oh, and dived for it. And the thing is, too.
You were that guy.
I was that guy. But the reason why I'm so embarrassed of it, because, like, there was
awesome.
a person who was, like, in, like, the Coke uniform, like, dispensing it into the Market Basket, like, just looked at me. And then he wasn't even, like, surprised or just, like, shocked. He was just like, again.
Again?
He looked at me like he saw that before, because definitely people are that hyped about the Sprite cranberry.
Let me ask you this though: was it near the vodka? Like, because I feel like it's a Bay Breeze, right? Isn't that a Bay Breeze? Cranberry juice and ginger ale or Sprite?
I'm underage. I don't know anything.
You would know, right?
Yeah, no, but like pretty much.
Okay,
yeah.
I mean, because that's a great combination in that respect.
It tastes good.
That sounds like it
cranberry
could be
does go
good.
well with
that
things.
Sounds good.
I mean, in New England, I could see that being immensely popular because we're all about our cranberries around here.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's funny.
No,
that is wicked funny.
It's one of those things where like once I think it's like very funny the way like things can come back or like be like shelved due to virality. You know, like being like, oh yeah, this is really popular right now. Let's jump on it.
Well, and maybe it wasn't the time. Like there's seasonal stuff. So like when Reese's Peanut Butter Cups started doing the Easter egg peanut butter cups.
Those are good.
Awesome, right? But then they started. See, they kind of ruined it by having like they have the Christmas version, they have the Easter version, they have the Valentine's Day version. It was that thing you like waited for Easter to get the super peanut butter filled. And anybody who likes Reese's out there, you can back me up on this, please, because there's so much peanut butter in it.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. But then, like I say, they ruined it by just having it every season now. So now they could just sell more peanut butter cups, but just make us fatter.
Take all my money.
You know, yeah, right.
Honestly,
seriously.
like after you get the Christmas tree one, it doesn't look like a tree.
No,
and you know that.
Yeah, it's right. It's kind of goofy. That's at that point. So here's an interesting segue into this next subject is the marketing aspect of all these products. And we were talking about this before the show off camera, coming up with some stuff to talk about. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this one. If you're still watching, there's a few people still there. So marketing of products to specific groups, people, genders, and so on.
Ages, all that.
All that stuff is really kind of interesting when you think about it, because like we were talking about shampoos and stuff and body washes and all that, where they only put them, for men, they only put them in like dark colored, a black container or a dark blue or something, wood colored thing, greens, right?
Yeah.
But then for the ladies, it's always pink and purple and
and white,
flowery looking and all that stuff. But it's really the same stuff in both bottles. Like it's kind of hilarious when you think about that.
Oh yeah, and I have it pulled up over here too, so people can actually look at like a visual example.
There we go.
So these are all the men's ones, right?
Like they have the gray, right? I forgot about
the grays, the reds, all these types of colors. You got the kind of off yellow one right here.
Yeah. Probably didn't sell that well.
Right. Yeah. No. And even this product can too. This kind of shea butter one, like this one, they're calling it the men's collection one. However, the normal one is just regular white. Okay. So now I'm going to go over to the regular body wash one.
And these are all ladies versions, right? I'm assuming.
But the thing is, though, is that like I didn't even put ladies into. I just put body wash.
I feel like men don't really use body wash. We're not body wash.
You guys use like a 3-in-1. Like
no. You got to use body wash.
I wash my body with soap.
3-in-1 body wash, shampoo, conditioner, face
Which
wash.
they're all the same. It's all shampoo, basically.
You're supposed to. Yeah. Like, look, and they have all these different ones for it, but there's just like a different vibe altogether.
Yeah. Well,
It's-
look at the ladies one. So here's a good example. Stay right where you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the purple one. Whoops, there we go. Let's see if I can get this thing working. The purple ladies one. Okay, look at the curve and the shape of it. Right. Go back to your other tab with the men's for a second. Okay. Okay, so
bring it down.
even any of those, look at the,
It's like a
the
rectangle
hard
bottle,
line,
yeah.
rectangular,
Strong
no
looking.
curved edges for the most part,
Yeah.
darker
Oh
colors,
yeah, this is the one I was
obviously.
talking about earlier.
There you go. There's the wood one, right? And look at that. Even looks like a flask. Look at the shape of that bottle.
Right.
Right? I mean,
Right, it
am I
does.
wrong? Okay.
It absolutely does.
And then the girl ones are all feminine and curved lines and dainty.
Right,
and-
exactly.
See, the thing is, though, is that like I think it's interesting that we didn't even have to specify women's body wash in the other Google search. It was just regular body wash.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until you put men's on it that you got like this like other thing all
Because I
together.
feel like that's more marketed towards women, anyways. Men, I don't know. We're not like body like I say, we wash with soap, or you know, you use your shampoo to wash your body. You know what I mean?
Like
it's,
I
it's
would
the
never
same thing.
do that too. I'm like super like specific.
And my
about,
wife's the
like,
same way.
Oh,
She
yeah.
has the body wash. She has the face scrubs, and the face scrubs. I'll give you that. Those things work really
Face-
well.
yeah, no,
That stuff's
do it,
legitimately
yeah,
good
yeah.
for your face. But you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
have specific things marketed for each piece of the body. Your feet wash and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but for men, it's just like
Yeah, no,
bar soap. Here you go. Knock yourself out.
right. And even that
3-in-1.
is kind of like
3-in-1
another-
soap. It's shampoo. It's soap. It's
and
conditioner.
It's
it's,
like,
you know.
no, don't use 3-in-1. Because the thing is though, is that like there's certain things specifically like there's different conditioners that you would use for your hair that you wouldn't use for your beard.
That's a good point.
You
Yes,
know,
that
like
is a good point.
There's
Right.
different things there. And it's like one of those things too, where like depending on like how it's like made there, because again, like usually like, oh guys, like here's a bar of soap, and it's just like no, but there's like other things that you could be doing here.
Well-
There's other grooming techniques that we like men may or may not do depending on like what like their standard is for themselves on
Yep.
it. But no one is going like outside of that being like, oh, like you should be using this, that, and the other thing, unless you really wanted to, you know.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, I found out years ago that like ivory soap was not good for like your hair,
Oh,
beard
yeah.
hair or hair because it dried out more. But then I use Irish Spring. I've used it for a long, long time, and it's fine.
Yeah.
No problem
Yeah.
at all. I mean, I use shampoo on my head, but like
Right.
the Irish Spring I use on my face, and it doesn't cause extra
Yeah.
undue drying on my skin. And
Which is crazy
all that
because if
stuff.
I did that, I swear I'd get like acne everywhere.
yeah.
I have to be like so specific about what I use. I have
Right.
wicked sensitive skin to begin with, but like it's so crazy to me. Like men can just use like a 3-in-1, like have no problem, like no
Right.
greasy hair, like perfect skin, like be perfectly fine. And then I'll use like all my specific body wash, my specific shampoo, conditioner, expensive face wash, and I'll get like acne, like my
Yeah.
hair, like
Yeah, no.
I'll get like it's just
I mean, there
come
are
on.
specific things for specific. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah.
And that's why maybe that's why there are so many
Yeah.
things for ladies as opposed to guys. We just get the 3-in-1, or you get like
But if
the
I ever
shampoo
used that, it would
and the body wash or the soap
Yeah.
with the stuff in it.
Yeah,
or the,
no,
you know.
but I think it's also to your point though, Kaylee, where I feel like there's like to women more of an expectation to be on top of like their bodies. You know,
that's
that's
true.
another thing
Yeah,
there
there's
too,
probably
you know?
some. Yep.
I'm
well,
like with
societal
my face
norms.
masks,
Right.
my
Yeah, no. But like that's the other thing though too, where it's just like I think like depending if you have like the funds for it or whatever, like definitely like take care of your body in whatever like way that looks for you, whether it's like working out, whether like and yes, wash no matter what, like wash yourself. But
please for the
you know what I mean? Like there are
Wait a minute.
please.
Please take a shower.
but we do like we have like
Public service
skin,
announcement.
You know what I mean?
PSA. Shower.
But we all
Regularly.
have like skin though. You know what I mean? Like we're all in like these like little like thin flesh layers of like whatever it is, and you do need to take care of it.
Yes.
You know?
This is true. This is very true.
I want
Yeah.
to get into like the baby pouch thing though, Steve.
Oh yeah. All
let's
right.
get
So
into
we're
that.
we'll wrap it up with this
Yes.
because we're getting long here, but people are still watching. So thank you guys
Still
by the
in-
way for watching.
It's
Get
still
into
in the
it.
marketing.
We
thing,
appreciate you
though.
guys. Yeah, right.
Yes.
This is still on the same vein. So hang on. Let me get one. Wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
Keep talking. Keep them entertained.
So Kaylee, if you have what's your favorite face mask?
Oh boy.
Well, you see, my face is very sensitive, so I have to be very specific about what I use. So I
Yup.
do not have a favorite. I switch it up.
Oh okay.
So, Rayson, pull up that webpage, right, that you had
Yep.
found earlier.
Got
So
it.
here's a funny story. I've been trying to get more vegetables into my diet. It's hard to eat vegetables every day. This is not an ad, by the way. I'm just telling you what I do.
Sponsored by Happy Babe.
Yeah, right. Seriously. So I've been trying to eat more vegetables, and it's hard to eat vegetables throughout the day because, I mean, how often do you stop and like, I'm going to have some broccoli right now at 11 o'clock
Right,
in the morning?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
You can't
something
get
weird
that-
like that.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
There's no drive-through for that.
No, exactly. There's no place to go get some stuff like that. So I have little ones, right? I have little kids, a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old now, almost 5, going on 20, and I had been giving them these little pouches. You probably, if you're a parent, you've seen these. They have all like hundreds of different versions of them with all different things in them. But like some of them are all vegetables, some of them have fruit in them, some of them have a mix of everything. And they're a great way to get your vegetables and your fruit, so you can get extra servings a day. But you found on the website on Amazon that you can buy. So this is the baby version, Happy Tot. There's Plum. There's Happy Baby. There's a whole bunch of different versions, right? For kids, sold in the markets. They're like $1.50 or something a piece, so they're really inexpensive and they taste great. But you found the adult version, and how much were they on Amazon now? I want to see this because this is hilarious.
Going down this website. And again, like it's designed differently.
Okay,
it has like different branding on it completely.
Yeah.
So this one over here is $15 for a 6-pack.
Wow.
For a strawberry and pineapple one.
Wait, so that's $3 a piece?
Strawberry and pineapple. That sounds yummy.
Just about.
How big are the pouches?
I think probably just as big as yours.
So
honestly,
this is a 4.22 ounce, 120 gram pouch. Does it say?
This is 4.2 ounces.
It's the
each.
exact same size pouch. Amazing.
Exact same
and
one.
Wait a minute. What is that? You said it's $15, $16
for a 6-pack.
This is $15, $14.99 for this one. However,
I have to use a calculator for that. Isn't that not sad? It's $2.50 a pouch.
Yep, $2.50 a pouch.
How much is that?
These are like $1. All right, so they range depending on what's in them from about $1.39, I think, to about $1.80 a pouch. And there's nothing else in these but what's supposed to be, but the stuff that's listed on the label, basically.
Because you're giving them to your children, like you want to be able to.
You want them to be pure and exactly. Yeah.
So at that point, though, if you keep on going down the list, right, there is the Smash Prack Protein one, and if you want to like kind of zoom in on like the little labeling here, here, it's very interesting. It's like there for adults and people of any age group. And this one is $18.49.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
you know what's funny? They have protein ones of these in the kids' store. I have some in my drawer here. Yep.
And then if you keep on going down over here, this one is Fuel for Fire. It's a 10-pack one.
Like an energy one.
And it is $28.99.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
Wow. I'll tell you right now, stick with the ones at the supermarket that are marketed for kids because they're the same. These taste good, too. I'm honest. I'm like, I eat probably 2 a day just so I can get some vegetables. Like I really like the, and it sounds like it'd be gross, but it tastes amazing.
Right.
Kale, spinach, and apple. And it's actually apple listed first, so there's more apple than the kale and spinach, but tastes awesome. And you get your vegetables too, so it's cool.
Right.
Helps with your heart and helps with digestion and blah, blah, blah.
It's like, it's like applesauce, but
basically,
like
with some extra stuff in it.
Yeah.
And there's not, the cool thing is there's not the extra stuff, preservatives and all the other, whatever crazy things that you can't even pronounce in the things, which is annoying because you don't want to eat that stuff necessarily. But it's funny, the marketing though. These are clearly for babies. The same thing marketed for adults is twice the cost, or $1 more anyways. And no difference.
But that's the thing too, where easily you could also search on Amazon or like go to a supermarket for that exact same thing over there. However, because you're an adult, or like it's like one of those things where like, oh, do you want to be seen as a baby?
Right. You don't want to be seen. I don't care, honestly.
Yeah, no. If you
I eat one right now.
I'll walk around eating Happy Tot.
I wasn't trying to talk
on
a microphone. I would eat one right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
But like things like that are just so funny where like you can market towards people's insecurities.
Yes.
And kind of
you can.
upsell them.
And that's a huge aspect of it. Absolutely. There's people that's their job, just to like look at the minutia of what people think and how they feel and the things they're insecure about. I'll bet you they even surf social media looking for stuff to see what people are like talking about.
Oh no, absolutely.
And yeah,
Facebook sells your information. Google sells your information.
Right. That's true. That's true too.
And that's part of the thing that's just like funny about it at the end of the day, where it's just like, oh, you have all these things going here and there, blah blah blah, and it's just like you didn't have those insecurities in your mind until they told you that you do.
Right. Yes.
Like you didn't think that you had to go and get the new whenever car, unless maybe you weren't in the market for it. And again, like they'll say, like they actually have like
your neighbor's got a new Cadillac, you should have a new Cadillac too. You know what I mean? Or like
and
or
things about like body washes and like body sprays and things like that, being like, oh, you'll look like this and it'll smell like this, and like you've bought
Axe
it before,
body spray.
and you know it doesn't.
You'll get every girl. They'll flock to you. It doesn't really work.
You know it doesn't.
I haven't tried this, but
like it's just like a funny thing that we all culturally accept when it comes down to marketing.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. They prey on your insecurities, and clearly it works because we buy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People buy the stuff, so it does work. There is some merit to it.
Mm.
It's frustrating when it gets to the body shaming and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, they kind of imply basically like you're too big, or you smell, or you're ugly, or you know what I mean? And then they make you feel like, oh, if I use this stuff, I won't be any of those things, and I'll feel better about myself.
It's like same with makeup too. Like some
yeah,
makeup brands
I believe
are
it.
like that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe it. I wonder, like, maybe I'm just not paying attention lately, but I feel like it's maybe slightly toned down a little bit, because it's almost like because of like the Me Too and like all of these like harassment type things that have come about in the last half a dozen years. Maybe they've kind of like calmed that stuff down a smidge, but maybe not. Maybe it's just I'm not paying
People
attention
can still
enough.
be nasty. Like it's everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like one of those things where advertisements will adapt. Like
Yeah.
if you have an ad blocker on, like they'll find some way to
they
be
definitely
like,
do.
you know what I mean? Like because that's their role in it, where they're supposed to like get like these things and market towards people specifically, so that way like they're especially like even like the Super Bowl. I think people spent like less money in advertising in the Super Bowl than
Nobody's
they
watching
ever
commercials
have.
anymore. Yeah,
Which is like weird, because some people watch the Super Bowl strictly for the commercials.
Yeah, I love the commercials. That was one of my favorite things.
I will say this: I watch the Super Bowl streaming, and when you watch it through NFL.com streaming, there's no commercials. It actually cuts out the commercials. Just goes to an NFL logo. They might. I'm trying to remember now. They did it last year, right?
Yeah.
It just cuts to the NFL logo, and that's it. You don't see the commercials, and then it comes back when the games come back after commercial break.
At that point, I'm assuming you're paying for it then too.
No, it's free.
No,
free stream.
Oh,
yep.
Okay. Never mind.
Free streaming. So there's that. I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Because I was about to say at that point, then they already had like whatever it is.
They do a lot of product placement too, though.
Okay,
That's kind of probably so like on the jerseys, on the sidelines,
Sponsors.
around the thing, the sponsors, around the marquees, around the stadium that roll all the time. So they probably have the thing up, and I'm sure they like, at like 12:22 we have to cut to the wide shot so we can show the Subway banner that's going to be on the marquee at that particular time, or they sponsor like the extra point is sponsored by whatever, or they'll give away a free F-250 at the end of the thing or whatever it was. I forget what they gave away last year. You remember they gave away like the MVP of the game gets a free truck, and it was I want to say it was like a Ford F-150 or something cool, or maybe it was a Chevy actually. It might have been a Chevy, but they do that kind of product placement too, though. So because I feel like the commercials, they're not as coveted as they used to be.
No.
I feel like they don't even put any effort into them.
It depends, and like they always try and like get culturally on like what is happening during the time, so that way people are talking about it.
Yeah, there was a lot of social justice commercials this past year. I remember I did go back and watch some of the commercials because I was curious, and they were talked about, and it's like, okay, that's whatever. Oh well. Interesting stuff. Anyways, let's we're gonna wind this down because it is just about 12. Actually, just turned 12:30.
All right.
Everybody who's watching, thank you guys so much. I know we're literally an international program right now.
Yes.
So thank you all very much for watching everywhere you are, Mr.
literally.
Leo and everybody else from wherever you are watching at. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you had some fun with this. We just try to have fun with this show. I tried to have some serious conversation. We tried to talk about a little bit of stuff that's going on in town. The golf course. We don't try to get too deep into it because it's a very sore subject. Excuse me. At this point, still. But an interesting one nonetheless. Definitely a lot can still happen with that. So whatever side you were on that one. Some people were happy, some people were not, but there's still hope if you did still want it. There actually is still a chance possibly that, from what I understand, again, something could drastically be wrong, but from what I understand, there is actually still a possibility that the town has another opportunity, maybe. But yeah, some interesting stuff we talked about today. Again, don't forget about the Memorial Day Parade happening not tomorrow, on Monday. Don't go tomorrow; it's not going to be there. On Monday, it will happen from 11 o'clock to probably about 12:30 or so. It starts over at Old Town Hall. If you want to join in on the bike and wagon contest, show up early, and you can bring your bike or wagon decorated there, and join in on that. So that means you can march in the parade. There'll be a lot of cool stuff to check out. The Minutemen are always there; they're fun to watch, and they shoot off their muskets and have some fun. So that's pretty cool. And they're dressed in period piece, which is really cool. They look the part. It's pretty neat, actually, to see those guys. The National Guard, I believe, will be there again. And, of course, obviously, as I've said before, this is the day to remember our fallen veterans who actually didn't get to become veterans because they passed away in service. They were killed in the line of duty, or maybe they passed away after the fact. But it's the day to remember those guys. That's what Memorial Day is for. For any, remember that at your cookouts. Remember that at your, your parties when you're having a good time. There's a reason why we have Memorial Day, and it's not just a day to party. It's a day to remember. That's why it's called Memorial Day. It's to remember those guys who fought for our livelihood and the flag that flies over this country. No matter how you feel about the politics of the day, that flag still flies. This country still stands, and we get to do what we want to do because of those people who did what they did. So. And gave the ultimate sacrifice. So remember those guys. So Memorial Day, 11 o'clock, starts at Old Town Hall. Definitely come down, check it out. You can stand on the side and wave, or you can, if you want to join the bike contest, you can march in the parade as well if you want to. I believe the THS band will be there, and some other folks there too. So it'll be a good day to come out and check it out. And if you are a trash pickup day on Monday, like every Monday, that's a holiday. They pick it up on Tuesday. You should know that one by now, but if you don't, just put your trash out the next day.
Now you know.
There you go. Now you know. And it's also, today is trash pickup day. So, trash pickup, yard waste pickup day, so if you want your yard waste to get picked up, if you haven't put it out and the truck hasn't come through already, get it out there because they'll be around very soon, I would imagine. And if you get missed, call extension 118 here at Town Hall, 649-2300, and they will try to do their best to fix it, to get them to re-pick up your stuff if they do miss you. Sometimes it happens, unfortunately. So many houses in town and streets, it's tough to... I can imagine it's tough. I wouldn't want to be those guys, I'll tell you that much. Having to hit every single house on every single street in a whole place. It's a lot of work. So it's a lot. So, just call Town Hall, extension 118, if you do have an issue. Other than that, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe to all of our social stuff. Give our pages a follow. That really helps too. We put out a lot of information. I try not to spam too much stuff out to our social media pages. Sometimes I'm guilty of it, but I try not to spam too much because I don't want you to not follow our pages or hide us or whatever, because we put out a lot of interesting and valuable information, trash pickup stuff, important things coming up. There's some, whatever they treat the waters at the lakes, we post all that stuff. So any information that we put out, including public safety stuff from our police and fire, we post a lot of stuff there as well so that you can be informed of what's going on here in the community, and just be aware. It's good to know what's, in this day of social media and the age of technology and information, you should know. There's so many ways to know that we do our best to let you know. We use all those sources available to us. The old school ones don't necessarily reach you guys anymore. TV is not necessarily the best way. What else? But, short of mailing it to your door, and that takes days, we can get it to you in seconds. So definitely give us a follow. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Really helps get around the Facebook algorithms and keeps it in your feed and shares it with your neighbors as well so that they get to see this stuff. And again, thanks to everybody for watching. Still a bunch of people watching, so thank you guys. I appreciate that. With all that said, I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Enjoy the sun. It is supposed to stay nice for the weekend. Ray Sam, let's show the weather real fast. Yep. It's going to be nice. Looks like, what is that little rain bit that I'm seeing on Saturday night. 70% chance to a 30% chance on Sunday morning. That's tolerable. I can deal with it if it's at nighttime. That's fine.
Chance of thunderstorms. That's interesting.
Chance of showers on Tuesday. Thunderstorms. Yeah, it's probably just a passing thunderstorm though, so that's okay. I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me very much.
High of 83 though.
High of 83 is cool. I'm down with
nice.
that. That's fine with me. Yeah, I'll take that all day. Good weather. Good day. Enjoy the weekend. Memorial Day is going to be perfect. That's mostly what I'm concerned with. What was it? High of 70 something? On Memorial Day, Monday?
76.
76 degrees.
Yes.
Fantastic. That's going to be a good day. So come out for the parade. You have no excuse now. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Ray, Sam, and Kaylee, thank you guys both very much for sitting and chatting with me. Well, they have to. That's their job.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice.
It's fun, though.
Right. It's fun. We have a good time. Hopefully you had some fun watching it. And, all that said, there won't be any news on Monday because of the holiday, but we will be at the parade. We'll do our best to stream some of it, take a bunch of pictures and all that fun stuff, so you get to see a lot of it after the fact. So if you can't make it, at least you can check out the photos after. Guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy it. It's still sunny outside. I'm looking in the high-tech weather center right now.
It's very breezy outside.
Cloudy and breezy, so yeah, and sunny. All right, take it easy, guys. Have a good one. See you next time. Bye.